Hello and welcome to the Book Station and welcome to a book haul. I have 13 books to show you, so I'm just going to get on with it. So the first book I bought is Benjamin Dove by Frederick Erlings. Now this is a book, it's a very famous children's book written by an author who was born I think in Iceland. Yeah, and yeah, it's just a very famous children's book and I've never heard of it before. And I found it. I like the text layout and stuff like that, so I thought I would give it a go. Really don't know much about it. Next book I picked up is The Ascent of Everest by John Hunt. This is about John Hunt, and it's basically he led an expedition in 1953 to the top of Everest, and they survived to the top and back down again. But he describes how that was, like how the experience was, and I think there were times when they thought they were going to die and all this stuff. And it's awesome because it has full colour photographs and maps. There's a map of I think that's just a map of Everest. But yeah, I mean, it looks really good. Not something I would normally buy, but I went in the Works, which is in the UK is like a big shop where they sell loads of stationery and books cheap. And they were having a closing down sale, and they always say they're having a closing down sale. And I went up to the till, and I said to the woman, "Are you actually having a closing down sale?" And she was like, "Yeah, no, we are literally closing down." I was like, "Oh, that's a shame," because I actually really like going in the Works and finding books that I would never normally pick up. So yeah, I went in there, and like I said, they were having a sale, and I bought loads of non-fiction books, and this was one of them. This was 25p. But yeah, I thought it sounded good, and it's kind of that papery cover, which is weird but interesting. And then I picked up another non-fiction, Snarling Tiger, Dirty Rat by Stella Hyde. This is basically, like, let me have a look. So, if I can get to the, okay, so here is the dragon, and the year of the dragon is 1904, 1916, 1928, 1940, 1952, 1964, 1976, 1988, 2000 and 2012. And this book basically goes through all the years and all the animals and tells you why. So it will tell you why it's the year of the dragon and all that stuff. And it goes through every single one. So there's the snake and the horse. And yeah, I just thought it was interesting. And the monkey. And this was only 25p as well. So I thought it was interesting. And I like astrology. I'm not massive into it, but I do like it. And also, every year in the UK, if you know David Walliams, he's a very funny British comedian. He was in Little Britain with his friend Matt Lucas, and it was a massive success in England. And he's just a very funny guy. Um, and yeah, he started writing children's books, and every year in the UK, around Christmas time, they make one of his books into a short movie. And I always adore the films. Like this year, they made Billionaire Boy into a film, and it was so funny. It was really good. But I've never actually read one of his books. He's also a children's author, very successful. He's written about 9 books now, I think. So yeah, I picked up his first book, The Boy in the Dress, and it's illustrated by Quentin Blake, who did Roald Dahl's illustrated Roald Dahl's works, and the text is huge. And yeah, I just thought, well, it's about time I probably read some David Walliams. So I picked this up. And I think that one is based on David Walliams himself. The next book I got is The Secrets of Driercliff Grange School by Kim Newman. I love this cover, especially the floating girl at the top. But basically, this girl is found sleeping on the ceiling. And she's sent to this school called Driercliff Grange in Somerset. And it looks like a regular boarding school, but it's actually full of like girls with powers. The daughters of criminal masterminds, outlaw scientists, and master magicians. And then one of the girls gets kidnapped, and these girls form a society called the Moth Club to rescue their friend and solve the mystery and stuff like that. So it sounds really good, and I love the cover. I then went to a charity shop and found 3 hardback books for £2 each. So I thought that was a very good deal. So the first book I got is Amity and Sorrow by Peggy Riley. I love the burning house on this cover. Yeah, and this sounds really interesting. It says, in the wake of a suspicious fire, Amaranth gathers her barely teenage daughters, Amity and Sorrow, and flees from the rural fundamentalist cult run by her husband. After 4 days on the run, Amaranth crashes the car, leaving the family stranded at a gas station, innocent and terrified. Rescue comes in the unlikely form of a downtrodden farmer who offers sanctuary, but while Amity blossoms in this new world, free from her father's faithful tyranny, Sorrow will do anything to get back home, and Amaranth herself needs to know what happened to the other wives, the other children. So it sounds really good, and this cover is absolutely stunning. And yeah, I'm just really excited to read this. I then picked up To Rise Again at a Decent Hour by Joshua Ferris. I've heard a lot about this, and I've heard a lot of mixed things. I've heard that a lot of people don't like it, but it was £2 and it's hardcover, and it was shortlisted for the Man Book of 2014. So I thought I'd give it a go. Not sure what it's about. I think it involves a dentist, and that's really all I know. Ooh, I like the spine under the dust jacket. But yeah, that's really all I know. I'm going to go into it blind because, like I said, apart from the tooth on the front, I don't really know anything about it. I then picked up a book that's been on my Amazon wish list for a while, and it's always expensive on Amazon. And I got it in the charity shop in hardcover, and it's Jay by Howard Jacobson. This was also shortlisted for the Man Book of 2014. It sounds so good. It says, set in the future, a world where the past is a dangerous country, not to be talked about or visited, Jay is a love story of incomparable strangeness, both tender and terrifying. So yeah, I thought it sounded really good. I love the cover, and I don't know, I'm excited to read it. I then picked up This Is the Life by Alex Shearer. I love that there's an aeroplane coming out of the teapot. And this sounds very odd. It says, I felt bad, like a tyrant, like one who had taken advantage of vulnerabilities, but I couldn't bring the kettle back. It had gone to the dump, and even if I searched, I wouldn't find it. It was there with all the other long gone and inadequate domestic appliances. True, I had brought him a new one, but what use was new when it wasn't what you loved? I don't have much advice to give anyone. I've learned very little in my life, but here's my gem of wisdom. Don't take a dying man's kettle away. You won't be doing him any favours, nor yourself either. So it sounds interesting, and it was only £1, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I then picked up The Pleasures of Men by Kate Williams, and she has a bloody dagger, which I think is amazing. But yeah, it's set in Spitalfields in 1840, and basically these girls are getting murdered, and she thinks she knows who the killer is, but she doesn't, and it says, but in fact she's already far closer than she realises. So it sounds interesting. It sounds a bit like a Jack the Ripper type story. But yeah, I thought I would give that one a shot. I then picked up The Red House by Mark Haddon. This is the guy that wrote The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night Time. And yeah, it's about a house made of red bricks, and the occupants of this house are being haunted by friends, enemies, victims, and saviours. So I thought it sounded interesting. It's quite big though. I didn't realise how big this book was. It's about 400 pages, but it looks and sounds really good, so I'm interested. And then I bought another 2 non-fiction books in the sale at the Works. I got Coral, A Pessimist in Paradise by Steve Jones. It's about a guy who writes about his childhood, and it says it is an inspired, eclectic book that links science with history, literature, politics and myth. It belongs to a vivid tradition of thinking and writing about humankind and its place in nature. I thought it sounded interesting. It was 25p. I really liked the cover. So yeah, I got that one. Not sure when I'm going to get to it, but it did sound interesting. And the last book I have to show you is also a non-fiction. It's called How to Live Forever or Die Trying by Brian Appleyard. And this basically asks the question, if there was a way we could live forever, would we? How would that impact us? And stuff like that. I love the cover. It's got like a skeleton on it. It's awesome. Yeah, so I thought that sounded really interesting. But I think it's actually in the form of an actual novel, written like a novel. Not kind of like a non-fiction book, if you see what I'm saying. But yeah, I thought it sounded good. So, those are all the books I have to show you today. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you wish, you may subscribe. Talk to me in the comments about these books or any books. And I will see you again soon. Goodbye.